And here we go on this Monday. What's today's date, yo? The 12th day of September 2022, 6 o'clock straight up. And when that happens, it is time for Real Talk Memphis. We are back and so happy to be back with you on this beautiful day that we have experienced today. It's going to be like that for the next couple of days as well. But I digress. How are you? It has been 2 weeks. I thought to myself on the way down here today, it felt more like 2 months not being here with you all. But we're back in the air chair after a week down. We're feeling good, fired up, ready to go. And hopefully have a very good broadcast for you this evening because we have some good guests in store. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But for those of you who are trying to find us in this fine piece of radio broadcasting, you can do it in a whole lot of ways. First of all, we are live right now on the air, 91.7 on your FM dial, WYXR. You can also catch us on the WYXR app live. Tune in. The TuneIn app also has this broadcast. You just go to TuneIn and punch in WYXR and hit play, and you'll get us live as well. We are also going to be on Facebook Live shortly, and sometime tomorrow after the show is posted, you will be able to catch us wherever you get your podcast. So, yeah, there's a lot of ways to find this broadcast, so I don't want to hear any excuses about, oh, I missed the show, didn't get a chance to hear the show. You can always hear the show 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere you are, okay? Good. We have a lot of news and notes to get to in just a few minutes, but before we do that, I know you missed it, the birthday celebrations. You know the shout-outs that we do on this show. We do shout-outs like nobody else does in the city, and that is because we care about you, and we care about your current trip around the sun, and we care about celebrating that. But we can't do that until I say, hit it, Lola.
Happy birthday!
Birthdays, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthdays go out to Ricky Pollard on this day. Myron Jamerson is having a birthday, as is Lisa Hassel. Christina Riddle celebrating today. Ashley Robinson is having a birthday today. John Hardy, Jackson, Mississippi, celebrating a birthday. Wiley Henry, it is your birthday today. Happy birthday. And happy birthday to Sin, that is C-Y-N, Jones. So happy birthday to each and every one of you. And by the way, because he's such a nice young man, I wanted to shout out a birthday for tomorrow. Tyler Stafford is celebrating a birthday tomorrow, a.k.a. One Professor. He is quite a talented, musically talented young man. And one day we're going to be hearing a lot about him on the national stage. I just know it. This kid is really, really strong. But anyway, Tyler's birthday is tomorrow, a.k.a. One Professor. So I wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. As all of you, I would like to wish you a happy birthday. Congratulations on making another trip around the sun. And we hope that, if we're all here next year, same time, same place, that we will once again be able to celebrate your trip around the sun. Happy birthday to each and every one. Thanks, Lola. All right, so by now, pretty much everyone knows Queen Elizabeth II died last week at the age of 96. Her son, King Charles III, is now, as I just said, the king. He's 73 years of age. So they're having a lot of, celebrations of life and things like that for her, over in Scotland today, and they're going to move her body to London the next, I think, tomorrow, and there'll be 4 days of ceremonies and the chance for thousands and thousands of people to pay their respects to her. She was on the monarch. She was a queen for 70 years, 7 decades. She served, and extraordinarily popular figure over there. And now they're trying to figure out, what's next. Of course, Prince Charles is now King Charles III. His son and wife are the Duke and Duchess of Wales. So it goes. Prince Harry and Meghan, his wife Meghan, are there as well. And it looks like, at least for now, folks are going to try to get together, and be civil as a family. We all know that there's been some discourse there, but hopefully, this somber occasion will be an opportunity for them to try to, like William and Harry, to try to, mend fences. But there's a book that's coming out next month, from what I'm to understand, and that is written by Harry and Meghan, and that could open up a can of worms all over again. So we'll see. Locally, in news and notes, since the last time we were here, we had a rough week in the city last week. There were, some pretty high-profile deaths in this town. Of course, speaking of Eliza Fletcher, the mother and jogger and teacher, lost her life. She was running early one morning, about 4 o'clock, which she normally did. She was kidnapped and unfortunately found murdered a couple of days later, which is really kind of shaking the city to its core. Also, last Wednesday, Ezekiel Kelly, 19 years old, decided that was the day that he was going to terrorize the entire city of Memphis by his actions. That he also recorded on Facebook, by the way. He said he was going to kill folks today. He said, "This is no joke. This is really going to happen." And right before that, after he said that, he walked into an AutoZone store, and as the man was walking out, you could see him raise his arm. He pulled the trigger and shot him twice. I believe he's still in the hospital, that gentleman. Before it was all said and done, in what turned out to be an all-day spree, he ended up killing 4 people and shooting 7. And for the first time, probably in the history of the city, Memphis was on lockdown for 2.5 hours that night. As this guy continued to drive from one end of the city to the other, carjacking as he went. He shot to death 2 of the individuals that he carjacked. He shot to death. One of them was at a gas station earlier that afternoon. Earlier that morning, sometime after midnight, he shot and killed someone who's supposedly his friend. They were at another mutual friend's house, and apparently they were having a good time. And Ezekiel Kelly and this other gentleman walked outside. They had a dispute the day before, and Kelly shot him and killed him right there on the spot. So that's kind of where it all began at like 12-something in the morning, and then it pretty much happened all day long. Well, they're both behind bars. They are both charged with a lot of different charges. And I think it's safe to say, from the perspective that they will never get out of jail again. They'll never see the light of day again. They will never experience what it's like to be free again as well. So there's we know that there's going to be a system there. We know that there's going to be the court has to do its thing now. Ezekiel is 19 years of age, Mr. Kelly, and Cleotha Henderson is the one that killed Eliza Fletcher. He's 38. I think it's pretty safe to say that based on all the charges and all the things that we know, that neither one of them will ever see the light of day again in our city. But now we go back into their criminal histories and we find out, we found out today that Henderson, Cleotha Henderson, committed a rape a year or so ago. Well, they just found out, through testing, that it was absolutely positively him. So they added another charge to him today. A lot of folks are upset about that because, if he had been tried on the initial rape charge, had they found this out a year or so ago, he would be in jail now. And, this is all revisionist history as far as I'm concerned, but they're in jail now, and the legal process will take its course. But I don't think a lot of us will be okay for some time to come after what happened out there. So I pray for each and every one of you on a daily basis, and please be safe out there. Late this afternoon, we received word that Dr. John Barker, who is he? He's the deputy superintendent at the Memphis and Shelby County schools. He was apparently escorted off of a school campus last Thursday. Apparently he had a disagreement with someone on the staff there. He has also, as of today, been suspended with pay from his position. Now, he was one of the two folks that were named interim superintendent as they were going through the investigation of Joris Ray. Well, now he's in trouble. So there is an investigation that's going to take place, and we will see what becomes of that. Once again, he is suspended with pay. Last time we gathered at the river here, I spoke to one of the Memphis 7. You remember the Memphis 7, the folks who lost their jobs because they were trying to, file for better working conditions and a lot of other issues. Well, they were granted by a federal court judge initially that they could return to work. Starbucks filed an injunction to stop that from happening. Starbucks lost that injunction. So they should be back at work now, and they were told to immediately allow these employees to come back to work. You're going to see a lot of unions and a lot of changes, I think, in Starbucks all over the country because of the actions of these 7 brave young folks. A lot of you went to the Southern Heritage Classic this weekend. I heard there were over 50,000 people at the game. Nice time to be had by all. So now the question comes, is this the final game? Is this the final one? If you listen to Deion Sanders, the coach at JSU, it's yes, this is the final one. He wants to move them along. He wants to renegotiate for more money. Each of the schools gets $350,000, but Deion says that's not enough. That's not enough. They don't even have lunch money when they get back to town. He's all about using his high-profile celebrity to get Jackson State, on another level, both academically and athletically. So we'll see what happens when you ask for Jones. He will simply tell you no comment. Why? Because there is a lawsuit pending. So we will see how all of that unfolds as time moves along. In the meantime, the Memphis Tigers, who looked really bad in their first football game, really bad against Mississippi State, rebounded over the weekend. They beat Navy for their first win of the season. And as I head to break, we need to give a big kudo and congratulations to someone I just talked about a minute ago. Fred Jones will be inducted into the 2022 Memphis Sports Hall of Fame for all he has done for this city. So, yeah, man, congratulations to Fred Jones. Giving him a round of applause. He is a man who has done so much for our city. We're going to have a good show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about a variety of things as we always do. But as I go to break, our first guest, they're coming up after the break. Her name is Larissa Gregory, and she's the executive director of Light Memphis. So you're asking yourself, well, what is Light Memphis and what is it all about? Well, Larissa will join me in just a moment to talk about that and about some of the plans that she has moving forward as the new executive director and a few other things. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. We are so happy to be back, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
You a fan of the sound? Be sure to block your calendar for December 3rd when we'll be throwing WYXR's inaugural music festival. From the airwaves to the stage, Raised by Sound Fest is a free day-long event showcasing local and regional talent. Come out to enjoy free live performances from 1 to 7 p.m. at Crosstown Brewing Company and the Crosstown Central Atrium, along with a day full of DJ sets from your favorite WYXR DJs. At night, stick around for ticketed events in Crosstown Theater and at the Green Room at Crosstown Arts from 7 to 11 p.m. We'll be announcing the full lineup soon, so stay tuned. If you want to be the first to know all the details, sign up for email updates at raisedbysoundfest.com. Minfo Music Festival returns to Radiance Amphitheater at Memphis Botanic Garden on September 30th through October 2nd. This year's fest features the excitement of the Black Keys, Widespread Panic, Wilco, Jason Isbell, Portugal the Man, Tank and the Bangers, Bobby Rush, and many more. Visit minfofest.com for ticket packages, lineup information, FAQs, and more. That's minfofest.com.
Support for WYXR comes from our partners at Spaces Group, a certified Miller Knoll dealer. Spaces Group is a commercial furniture dealership located in Memphis, Tennessee and Jackson, Mississippi, specializing in furniture for the corporate, healthcare, educational, and nonprofit markets. More information at spacesgrp.com or their Instagram at spacesmemphis.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this beautiful Monday in the city. So happy to be with you. So happy to be back in the air chair. So happy to see Lola and Nicole again. The gang's all here. Everybody's doing fine. And as I said before the break, there's an organization in town that I don't know how many of us have heard of. I'll be honest, I didn't know a lot about it until it was brought to my attention. But they are really dedicated to sort of closing the wealth gap and giving our minority students, African American and Hispanic, a real shot at a real future in our city. So please welcome to the show Larissa Gregory. She is the new executive director of Light Memphis. And she did tell me during the break that she's a little hoarse, but we can hear you just fine. Larissa, welcome to Real Talk. Larissa, can you?
Hi, Chip.
Hey, how are you?
Good to be with you.
Okay, good to be with you as well. Okay, we're gonna see. So we're gonna see. You gonna let us see, or are we just gonna look at your still? It's a nice picture.
We're gonna look at my still face today, if that's all right.
That's absolutely all right with me. Well, again, welcome to the show. And I guess first things first. Congratulations on being named the executive director of this organization. But for those of us who don't know about Light Memphis, please give us a rundown of what your organization is all about.
Yeah, so Light Memphis has been here in our city. I think it's a hidden gem. It's been here for almost 10 years. Let's innovate through education is what Light stands for.
Okay.
And we
I think we may have lost you. Can you hear me? I don't know. It might be your signal. Larissa, can you? I think your signal may have gone out or something happened there.
Oh, yep. Can you hear me?
I got
Chip?
you now. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. You sound good now. Go ahead.
All right. So Light Memphis, let's innovate through education. Been around for about 10 years here in our city.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a hidden gem. We target African American and Latinx students to build those 21st century tangible and intangible skills to build wealth, to close the racial wealth gap here in our city.
That is outstanding, and I want to dig in a little bit more, about how you do that. Of course, you've been the executive director for a short period of time now. So as you start to look at the landscape, let me just back up. What attracted you to this particular organization in terms of being its new leader?
Yeah, so I've been in education here in Memphis a little bit over 10 years as a school leader and as a behavior specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a step back and thought about what I've seen as gaps as far as kids having access beyond high school to post-secondary opportunities. And so when I saw Light Memphis, I thought to myself, this is a way to fill a gap for kids in our city. Mm-hmm. What do you do between high school and college? If you don't go to college, then what's your option? If you don't go to a trade school or you don't go straight into a job, what's out there for you? And so Light Memphis, in my opinion, fills that gap and fills it well.
How big a gap is it, Larissa, that you have found, between, what you've seen and what you're trying to do?
Yeah, so we know that 70% of our city is Latinx and African American, and 2% of our wealth generating businesses that are owned by Memphians look like us and sound like us and look like our students and sound like our students. And so really filling that gap in so that more than 2% of businesses are owned by African American Latinx members of our community.
That really is stunning. The number you just you shared with us at 2%, in terms of businesses. Now, I'm to understand that you're targeting specifically high school students. Tell us the logic behind that, the reason behind that.
Yeah, specifically high school students to begin to equip them as they make decisions for their post-secondary choice, and giving them the skills to begin to mix that with their academics and their studies that they're having in school, alongside of those skills of learning how to build a business, learning how to show up, learning how to be professional, what professional looks like and sounds like. Professional has been redefined within the last 10-ish years. And so helping our students to understand what that looks like and sounds like. But yeah, targeting high school, 16 is really the sweet spot of getting involved. But we are, Chip, piloting a program over at the Hickory Hill Community Center right now. Our program team has done a beautiful job of seeing what it looks like to engage 8th graders. And so seeing if we're not getting in soon enough with this pilot, it's going to let us know that. And so we look forward to what's coming from that.
This is really a very impressive program you have. If you are just joining us, we're speaking with Larissa Gregory. She is the executive director of Light Memphis, and she's talking to us about this organization and the goal of the organization. Now, in order to be successful in any program like this, you need community partners, and I know that's a very big thing for you. Recently, one organization here, the Cummings organization, gave you all a pretty substantial grant. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's our largest grant in our history as an organization, $450,000 to be dispersed over 3 years. And Chip, what that really does for us, it gives us space to take a step back and be strategic to meet the needs of students and to meet the needs of our community. The needs of students in our community are great, and we want to position ourselves to where we're present in community centers, we're in schools, we're at community events, and we're really meeting the needs of students as they meet the needs of communities.
How, as young people start to hear about this program and you start to become more and more prevalent in the schools and some of the other places in terms of recruiting, how excited are young people about really an opportunity that they may not have had before your program came along?
Yeah, Chip, I'm going to tell you, I was with students yesterday. Our programming, our youth entrepreneurial program happens on Sundays at Crosstown High Schools where everybody meets up. And we're with our fall cohort right now. We have 39 students, and each of those students that walked in yesterday was excited to get to the lesson. Yesterday, they learned about competition and what it means to know about your competition and study your competition so that you can position yourself well. And they are engaged the full 2 hours that they're with us. So kids are excited, they're eager, they attend, they show up, they're present, and they're bringing real needs to the table and solutions as well.
As they matriculate through the program and get older, I start to think about mentors and mentorship. So, and I know you sort of are developing that as well. How are kids receptive to the ones who have gone through are really coming back and helping the younger ones along the way and showing them the ropes as well? Talk about that.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago, we had our initial kickoff, and that kickoff was led by Innovation Fellows alongside of our staff. And those fellows are students that have gone through the program to become youth entrepreneurs. Many of them are running their own businesses now. Many of them are using those entrepreneurial skills in their post-secondary choice. But them coming back and being the voice and the face that our students that are currently in the cohort, that they're able to look to and hear, that does something, right? When you see a peer, someone that's your age, from your community, it gives you hope. And so seeing those innovation fellows come back, because our students aren't just with us for those 16 weeks of the program, they stay with us for up to those 8 years for wraparound services, for fellowships, for internships, and all kinds of things.
That is wonderful.
So it's not just the 16. We keep them into their 20s.
That's absolutely wonderful, and God, this is an amazing program. And for people who are listening to this, I hope that you are interested in giving them your support as to what they do. But before you go, Larissa, anyone who is interested in being a part of this or getting their children involved in this, give them all the contact information they need.
Yeah, so if you have a high school student, again, we're targeting African-American Latinx students. If you have a high school student that is interested in building their entrepreneurial skills or building a business, please log on to Memphis.org. And you can find information there of how to apply for our spring cohort. We're also actively seeking mentors that can come and be with us with students. So if you have any business expertise you'd like to offer our students, you can also go to lightmemphis.org, or if you'd like to donate. And Chip, we have a couple of upcoming events.
Okay.
October 2nd is our Community Partner Day. It will be at Crosstown High School from 1 to 3 and 3 to 5. It's a great time to come out and see what students have been doing and what they're up to. Then we're hosting a block party on October 8th over in the Fraser community. And so more details to come on that. But we want you to come out, buy students' products, come and see what the students have been up to, and really be with us.
Well, I tell you what, I'm really, really impressed by you and what you're trying to do with Light Memphis, and congratulations, by the way. I think
Thank you.
They picked the right one. But I want to thank you for coming on Real Talk Memphis tonight. It has really been enjoyable speaking with you and finding out about the organization. And listen, if you have, like I say, anything you have coming up down the road, events, activities, and anything we can do to help to promote what it is that you are doing, just let us know, okay?
Absolutely, Chip. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
You too.
All righty. That was Larissa Gregory, ladies and gentlemen, the executive director of Light Memphis. Wow. That now see, this is what's good about our city. We focus a lot about, some of the negative aspects of what we have to deal with around here. But when you hear about a program like this that is specifically targeting our younger folks, high school folks who are about to maybe turn the corner and trying to decide which way they want to go, this is the kind of organization I am more than happy to have on and to promote. Thank you so much, Larissa. We're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to shift gears and talk to an old friend who has recently gotten a brand new position here in the city. His name is Michael O. Harris. A lot of you know him. We're going to talk a little bit about blight and what we can all do to make things better on that end for our city. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. You know who you are. We're glad to be back. Be back in a minute.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Goner Records is proud support to WYXR. Goner Fest is almost here. Goner Records' yearly festival features 3 nights and 4 days of rock and roll recklessness. 35 local and international bands take over Rail Garden from September 22nd through the 25th. Performing acts include Negative Approach, The King Khan and Barbecue Show, A Weirdo from Memphis, The Surfs, R.L. Boyce, Compulsive Gamblers, Shannon and the Clams, and many, many more. For a complete lineup and further information, visit GonerFest.com.
WYXR is supported by Graceland Live, presenting the American Dream Pop duo Beach House, Monday, September 26th, to support their latest album, Once, Twice, Melody. More information at gracelandlive.com.
WYXR is supported by Onstage at the Halloran Center, presenting Tequila Rock Revolution on October 1st. Tequila Rock Revolution is a metal-fueled spectacle of sound and sight, paying homage to the tradition of mariachi. More information at orpheum-memphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this beautiful Monday evening in the city. I'm going to do a little roll call here on Facebook Live. There are two mics on here. Michael Harris is checking us out tonight, as is Michael Washington, all the way from Los Angeles, California. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Also, Audrey Hill is checking us out, and Cousin Dale. He's in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's checking us out tonight as well. And for those of you who I can't see on here, if you are on here, thank you for joining us for the big broadcast this evening. And as we said before the break, I've known this young man for a while. He's not a stranger to this broadcast, but he recently got a new position here in the city. Michael O. Harris is one who I know is very involved in the community. He cares a lot about the community and the betterment of it. And he has graciously decided to join us tonight back on Real Talk Memphis. Mike, good to see you, my friend.
Hey, it's always good to see you, and it's good to be back. I feel like I'm at home.
That's exactly right. You are always at home here on Real Talk Memphis. So since the last time you and I spoke, you have gotten a new position. You are the executive director of the Blight Authority of Memphis. Now, we all know what blight is, but kind of explain the concept of what you're doing these days.
It's interesting. Everyone, they hear Blight Authority of Memphis and they think that I'm like the city's blight czar, or that if they don't come pick up your trash, you call Mike Harris and he's going to be there. But that is not what we do by any way. Okay. We are actually a city land bank. We were established by the city council in 2015. We have powers that have been granted to us by Tennessee Code annotated that give us special powers as a land bank to support real estate movement across our city. So to take that a step further, I purchase blighted properties from, I buy from the city and I buy from the county land bank. And then I take them and I repurpose them to transform these blighted properties into economic opportunities.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you went in a completely different direction than my mind, because I knew you were responsible for picking up, tires and things like that.
I don't touch tires.
And cutting grass and, abandoning houses. But this is really something here. It's in particular because we don't have a lot of housing opportunities for people in our city. A lot of folks come from the outside and gobble up a lot of the properties that we have here, but you're doing it sort of from the inside out. And I find that to be extremely interesting in terms of how you do what you do. Is there a pretty good volume of property on both the city and the county side that you deal with?
Yes, there's a large volume. There's a large volume on both sides. What we have sort of committed to doing is transferring at least 30 properties a month through our acquisition process. And that's something we're working out the details and the logistics with our partners in this work. But once we get this up and going, we want to hit that 30, and then we want to exceed that 30. And we want to really start focusing on how we're really helping our communities. What's unique about this chip is we're focused on reducing blight and decreasing city expenses. We're focused on returning to productive use and increasing property values, and we're trying to build a better Memphis.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Michael O'Harris. He is the the new executive director of the Blight Authority of Memphis. And, that what you just said a second ago is really the key. I mean, if you take a blighted and abandoned, house or a piece of property and repurpose it, as you said, or, basically, build it into a property that's actually livable. And you do that step by step incrementally, you start building up neighborhoods and then communities. And then really, as you said, at some particular point in time, the whole city benefits from that because there's a lot of revenue that is generated from that as well. Talk about that.
So it's actually it's a cool thing. I've got a staff, unlike when I was at G-Work, it was just me, right?
Yeah.
Here I've got an amazing staff, and I kind of tell them we have a responsibility to the citizens of the city to try to get in here and make this the best city that we can by taking these properties and doing the best with them. When I say we have these special powers, the state says that we have these preemptive bidding powers. So I could go into a tax sale and make a minimum bid, and I cannot be outbid.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So according to state law, I'm allowed to go into this tax sale, and if it's property that we would like to take and to work with developers to change the trajectory of a community, we can do that. And even on the disposition side of the house, once I get ready to flip the property, I don't have to sell to the highest bidder. I sell to the developer with the best plan that fits the model that this community has said they're looking for.
Wow, that is absolutely what has been needed around here for a very long time. And on the trajectory that you set forth a few minutes ago by 30 houses a month, and then maybe eventually increasing that. I mean, that's a plus for everybody. And really, we're an economically depressed community in a lot of areas. I don't think there's any argument behind that. So what you're doing is also providing people an opportunity to buy an affordable home in an area, that may not have been in existence, 6 months before that, and giving them a chance as well as new homeowners. Sounds like to me.
Yeah. I'll put it to you like this. When you think about it, so we're a quasi-governmental nonprofit agency, but with the way that I envision this organization, we're really big softies. So I told you the business side of what we do. I told the staff, you're kind of like you're my good and bad conscience, because you got to keep me centered to keep us moving forward. And so that was the business side. Now, the nonprofit side for me is my Adopt a Lot program, where we're retooling it. It's about 50% complete with being overhauled. But we've brought in this opportunity to where now, when we acquire properties, I can flex our superpowers that we've been granted. I can hold properties tax-free for nonprofits, and I can maintain them. I can sell them at a very reduced rate or lease them to nonprofits so that we can serve the community better. For example, Magnolia Castalia, they don't have a playground or a park for kids to play in. Now, Ms. Carolyn with the Magnolia Castalia CDC very easily could say, Mike, I want to do a playground for our kids. If we could find a parcel in the city surplus list that's a small lot, we could take that, transfer it to Blight. We take it and then transfer it over to the Magnolia Castalia CDC for like $25 and work with our partners at TVA or Blue Cross Blue Shield and put some playground equipment down. They could write grants to then continue to maintain the lawn keep for this site.
Man, you got everybody in here in the studio shaking their heads about what it is that you're doing, and I'll be honest with you. This, my friend, is a wonderful thing, and I don't think they could have picked any better person to lead it, because I know how big a heart you have for the community, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, not should I pick at him about something or not? So I thought about it when you said to me, well, I have a staff and everything. I'm saying, oh, he's got a staff now. So that just makes me happy that you actually took my phone call when I called you to get you to come back on this show.
Hey, I got a staff now, so I can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wait, who's it, Chip? Put him on hold. But anyway, listen, man, I'm extremely proud of you, seriously, and what you are doing is a definite plus for the city and the county of Memphis proper, and I mean you're going to make a substantial difference in the lives of not only potential homeowners but groups and organizations out there, because we need places like this. We need places for kids to go. We need recreation centers. We need places where there are safe spaces. And it sounds like you are on a targeted, in a targeted role to be able to make that happen. Really proud of you, man.
Thanks, Chip. I'll tell you this. A few weeks ago, I had a wonderful conversation with Governor Lee, and I pitched an idea. I was on my second week here at Blight Authority. Pitched an idea. He wants me to come up to Nashville and meet with he and some commissioners and other folks to talk about how we could work out the logistics. But I told him, when we flip these parcels in Memphis and we start focusing on affordable housing, I said, Governor Lee, I don't want to have to do pre-manufactured. We want sticks and bricks. We want the quality. But there is a gap funding issue here where, to be equitable, the people in these communities can't afford what the going rate for affordable housing is going to be.
Sure.
And I worked out this really cool mathematical equation with Steve Lockwood and some of our partners in this work, and found a way to create this gap funding subsidy. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at utilizing state and federal dollars to fill this fund so that we can lessen that gap and provide affordable, quality home ownership and change the lives of people across the city.
Man,
and together we will make a better Memphis.
Man, absolutely, 100% co-sign on everything you just said. Mike, thanks for coming on the show. Seriously, thank you for being here, and thank you, more importantly, for doing what you're doing selflessly for all the people of Memphis, man. Really proud of you again, and I look forward to talking to you down the road.
Awesome. Thank you. So, and before I go, my dad's on. Yesterday was his birthday.
Okay.
He's devoted to your show.
What's your dad's name? What's his name?
Michael Harris.
Michael Harris, the father. I thank you so much for supporting our show. I thank you so much for your son, and happy birthday to you. Appreciate it. Michael O, I appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you down the road.
Sounds good. Thank you, Chip.
Take care, buddy. Well, that was a great conversation, really great conversation about the Blight Authority of Memphis and what they are doing to improve our city. Man, this has been good. We're going to take our final break of the show. When we come back, we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk to an old friend about an upcoming program they have this week that I think a lot of you will be very interested in. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from our partners at Spaces Group, a certified Miller Knoll dealer. Spaces Group is a commercial furniture dealership located in Memphis, Tennessee and Jackson, Mississippi, specializing in furniture for the corporate, healthcare, educational, and nonprofit markets. More information at spacesgrp.com or their Instagram at spacesmemphis. Art Walk is returning to the V&E Green Line on Saturday, October 8th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Station House on the corner of Avalon and Tutwiler near Crosstown. Enjoy a local artist market, craft, beer, food, music, and more. All proceeds support the V&E Green Line. More at vegreenline.org.
The next round of our collaboration beers with Crosstown Brewing Company is ready. Take a walk down the tart end of the street, where soul music meets a fruity and flavorful sour beer with notes of pineapple, peach, and apricot. You can find the beer at grocery stores and other local Crosstown Brewing Company retailers. A portion of the proceeds goes towards helping WYXR and supporting community radio in Memphis. Visit crosstownbeer.com for more information.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Trina Jones, I see you out there on the Facebook Live line. I appreciate you checking us out. And, when I have folks come on this show that I really enjoy, I don't mind having them back. And my next guest is one of those folks because she works for one of the organizations I'm absolutely in love with, MIFA. She is the Chief Development Officer at MIFA. Her name is Anna Kathryn Word. And Anna Kathryn, good to see you again, my friend.
Thanks, Chip. I'm so glad to be here.
So, you have a kind of I don't know how often it is. I don't know if it's monthly or not, but it's Our City, Our Story.
Right.
And it is a kind of a luncheon event where you invite speakers in to talk about, various topics and issues and subjects and things like that. And you have one coming in this week that I found really interesting. She is an acclaimed author, a best-selling author, and she wrote a book based on some of her personal experiences called Made, which was actually made into a series that is being shown on Netflix. But I want you to talk a little bit about that. And I'm sorry I don't have her name in front of me, but more importantly, really the message that you all are trying to portray by having her as a guest, because it really is endemic to the city of Memphis.
Yeah, absolutely. So Our City, Our Story is an annual event that started about 4 years ago as a way to bring the community together. Similarly to how MIFA was started in 1968 as a way to solve common issues that affect us all.
Sure.
And so this year we're pleased to welcome Stephanie Land, who is the New York Times bestselling author of Made, Hard Work, Low Pay, and a Mother's Will to Survive. It is Thursday, September 15th at noon at the Holiday Inn. Tickets are $100, and there are a few left, very few.
Well, that says something about the guest. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
We're welcoming over 500 people this year to hear Miss Land speak. And her book is really her personal story. It's her story about navigating single motherhood, homelessness, grueling work for minimal pay, below a living wage, and then having to deal with the frustrating maze, the bureaucracy of poverty. How do you access services when you're trying to work so that you don't miss a rent check or miss a utilities payment? How do you access all of the safety net programs that are out there to people? And so she really talks about that, and her story echoes what so many in our community face every single day.
I don't mean to understate that, but that is a very, very big issue here. I mean, we understand that, we have a high poverty rate in the city of Memphis. That's not a shock or surprise to anybody. But more importantly, the hoops that people have to go through. I mean, look, first of all, life happens to all of us. And these situations and circumstances, not unlike what Stephanie described, in her life that she had to deal with, it really resonates, I think, with a lot of folks here in this city. What do you hope the people who are attending this event really get out of this, other than, who she is, she's a bestseller and this, that, but there's a bigger message here that I think that people really need to get a hold to.
Yeah, absolutely. So after Stephanie speaks, we're going to bring it more into a local context by having this fabulous panel of community experts. Dr. Elena De La Vega from the University of Memphis is going to join us.
Okay.
Dorcas Griffin
Yes.
from Shelby County Government, Mary Hamlet, who is our Vice President of Family Programs at MIFA, and Dr. Alpha Stewart, who is with UT Health Sciences Center. They're going to join us and talk about how we can help in Memphis, what we can do. Interestingly, one of the things we learned at MIFA through the pandemic was we put our assistance applications online because we couldn't see people in person anymore. And what we found is that people are now able to access it in a faster, more efficient way that is convenient to their schedules. They're
Excellent.
not having to come in and take time off work or find childcare to do that. So it's really important that you think about things like that, I think.
I think you're exactly 100% right on that too, because there are so many obstacles and roadblocks in the way of people who are just seeking. They just want help. I need help. I need help. And the panel that you have, I know a couple of those folks personally. They've been on this show too, to talk about some of these issues that are really endemic to Memphis. And I know that it takes a lot of hard work to try to bring a lot of these assistance programs to fruition. One of the things that I think that I saw I mentioned, we talk about housing. Housing has become almost the number one issue in this town.
We have a deficit of 36,000 affordable and available rental units for low-income housing.
Yeah, that's a lot. 36,000. That's a lot.
36,000.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse. The average cost to rent a one-bedroom apartment in Memphis today is $950. That's a 12% increase over just last year. We are pricing people out of the ability to live.
Now see, that is a standalone statement. We are pricing people out of the ability to live a decent life. And I mean,
Right.
we don't have, I've had Melvin Burgess on the show to talk about this. I've had so many people, on to talk about, I would say, a housing crisis here. And the 36,000,
Absolutely.
that's insane. 36,000,
Absolutely.
that's insane. I see them building around, various areas of town and this and that and stuff. But to have to pay $900,000 and up, for just a one room or a basic one room,
Right.
place, and you have a family, that's insane.
It doesn't include exceptionally expensive costs like childcare.
Yeah.
Or utilities that are on the rise as well. There's a lot of things working against people who are just trying to make a living. It's a very difficult time.
So I think on the back end of Stephanie Land's conversation and hearing about her personal story, I think a lot of people out there, and I think that's why this is so extremely important, that a lot of people out there, may be able to that may resonate to folks. It may not be them directly, but it could be somebody that they know. And there's a lot of folks out here that I know who are really struggling and going through it out here.
Absolutely. And so many people are just one paycheck away from losing everything.
Yeah. I mean, Go ahead.
And it's just more precarious now, I think, than it's ever been.
Yeah. I mean, none of us know the answer. I know that we're all trying. I know what MIFA does, and I know that it is challenging because you're trying to help so many people, and you do help so many people. I mean, so many people, but you have challenges too, dealing with the governmental red tape aspect of this too, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And we're short on being able to find enough places to help people.
Yeah.
We helped almost 3,000 families find emergency shelter last year. We are seeing families spend more and more time in transitional housing, mostly hotel rooms right now, because there's just not enough shelter beds and not enough affordable housing in Memphis.
Yeah, that's
to accommodate everyone in need. There's just not.
That's really tough. So for the few tickets you have left, please let folks know if they're interested in being a part of what I think is a very important conversation. How do they reach out, make contact?
Yeah, go on the MIFA website at Our City, Our Story, and you can click the link and buy your ticket there, and we will see you on Thursday, ready to help.
Listen, my friend, bless you and all of your colleagues at MIFA for the wonderful work that you do each and every day for so many in our city. MIFA is a true gem of Memphis, and I am so happy that you found some time to visit with us tonight. It's always good to see you and always good to talk to you.
You too, Chip. Thanks for having me.
Have a great night.
You too.
All righty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, that's a good way to come back. We've been gone for about a week or so and a couple of weeks, and we're back now. And I have had a ball tonight. This has really been an exceptional show because, the guests have a central theme. They're trying to help folks. This is what it's all about. And if I left here tomorrow, at least I could say, you know what, we had some folks on who were trying to do some good things for our city. We are wounded right now as a city. We are still trying to catch our breath with the events of last week and right before that. It was a harrowing time for so many to sit home, and watch TV and hear really tragic events unfold, and that all of us are told to stay in place, shelter in place, was really incredible for me. And it just made me think about so many people out there who are trying to live their lives normally and wind up in unpredictable situations. Many of those that have tragic situations, tragic endings rather. And I sit back. And I have sorrow. I feel sorrow for people, and I feel, sad, and I feel frustrated too, and even frightened for so many folks out there because, we all try to live our lives as normally as we can and do the best we can out here. But, situations like this, make you, pause a little bit. Don't live in fear. None of us should live in fear, but we need to be a lot more cautious about some of the things that we do. We can't take life for granted as much as we once did because the situations and circumstances are different. And as Lola plays this out, I want to thank, first of all, my guests for being on the show tonight. This was an amazing show. And if you didn't get a chance to catch it live tonight, it's a podcast, so it'll be posted tomorrow afternoon. And after that, a lot of you listen to podcasts, so find ours, Real Talk Memphis. Thank you all for checking us out on Facebook Live. Thank you all for supporting this show, whether by radio, online. And thank you for the nice notes and comments that you send me. And, if you have some show suggestions and topics and ideas, I'm not hard to find. So in the meantime and between time, please be safe and be careful out there. For Lola and for Nicole, I'm Chip, and we're out. I'm praying for you each and every day. You be safe out there. Have a great weekend, and I'm out.
Welcome to Real Talk.